Hello, Professor Simmons and classmates. This country where we live, love, and call home had another name centuries before Amerigo Vespucci, America's namesake, and Christopher Columbus called it the New World. History has shown that Columbus was a murderous, plundering pirate, not a great explorer. I have asked the questions, what was this land called before it was named America, and who were the people that lived here? I found my answers when I took an online humanities class, COMM185, Introduction to Native American Literature, with Professor Wren Allen Mills. Turtle Island is what many Native Americans called this country. Our country had a rich history before the arrival of European settlers. Native American culture thrived in many separate communities, each with their own unique way of life. What we have called Indian tribes are actually called clans, confederations, or nations by the original inhabitants of this land. According to a documentary co-produced by Kevin Costner, there were 500 nations. The true story of Christopher Columbus was revealed during this documentary. We will discuss three of these nations: the Cherokee, the Blackfeet or Blackfoot, and Iroquois. The United States of America should actually be called Turtle Island because that is America's real name. If you were to travel south by air from Greenland and you could see the outline of America starting at the Canadian border upside down, America does have the shape of a turtle. Florida would be the turtle's head, Texas would be the hump of the turtle shell, and the Great Lakes form the shape of a turtle's legs. How did a culture without advanced technology know the continental United States was shaped like a turtle? Most likely they did not, and the shape of the land is not why it's called Turtle Island by the original inhabitants. Before the advent of the printing press and public school systems, every society on earth relied on members of their communities to pass down cultural history by telling stories of the past to the newer generations. Native Americans relied on oral tradition. On April 20th, 1995, a 4-part, 8-hour documentary called 500 Nations aired and gave the world a history lesson about America that was not covered in our history books. This documentary has never been aired on American television again. The Cherokee people and their struggles in America are the most documented Native American nation. The Cherokees call themselves the Ani-Yan-Wiya, meaning leading or principled people. They mainly lived in Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, and the Carolinas, and are known around the world because of the book The Trail of Tears and Indian Removal by Amy H. Sturgis, which documented their inhumane treatment while being removed from their eastern homes and marched across the country to the western part of America known as Indian Territory. The Blackfeet Nation is called Blackfeet Confederation and consisted of 4 clans: the North and South Piegans, the Blood, and the Siksika. Even though they mainly lived in Canada and Montana, they were also relocated during the forced evacuation. Many Blackfeet walked the Trail of Tears as well, right beside the Cherokee people. No Native American nations were powerful enough to overcome the might and the desires of the newly formed United States government and their superior military weapons, no matter how organized they were. Bows, arrows, spears, and prayers could not change the fate of Native Americans, but these people had more to their societies than settlers of America could imagine. Native Americans were not savages. The Iroquois nation got its name from the collective language they spoke, and they are a collection of 5 nations: the Seneca, the Mohawk, the Oneida, the Cayuga, and the Onondaga. These 5 nations are famous for living in longhouses and for creating a political system with the 2-house legislature, much like the British Parliament and the U.S. Congress. Benjamin Franklin was one of the great Americans who had marred the impressive structure of the Iroquois political system. The Iroquois were one of the nations who referred to this land as Turtle Island because in their culture, turtles are a symbol of the earth, associated with long life, and they believed that turtles were mythical creatures, hence the name Turtle Island. The lands of the Native Americans were changed forever, and now Turtle Island is America. The United States of America should actually be called Turtle Island because it is America's real name. Many separate Native American cultures thrived for centuries, but were drastically changed by the arrival of Europeans. 5 nations of the Iroquois knew their homeland as Turtle Island before the Europeans renamed it, and they had a modern, functional political system long before the U.S. existed. Modern history and college courses have helped everyone to learn and understand about the lives, cultures, which existed before America was America. Americo Vespucci was an Italian-born merchant and explorer, and the first use of the name America was in 1507, when a New World map was created by a German humanist cartographer, a mapmaker, named Martin Wald C. Mueller, who first named South America after Vespucci's first name. Christopher Columbus misnamed the Native Americans as Indians because he believed he had sailed to India. The 500 Nations documentary tells the true story of Christopher Columbus' actions against the Native American people who greeted him with friendship. I have enjoyed looking at all of your videos, and actually I'm learning from the way you presented your videos. Bye-bye.